annually. But 4 million of those passengers use temporary tented structures. Again, in the last financial year, JKA handled 8.5 million passengers, meaning it has already optimized its passenger capacity. Its runway that is designed for 35 movements per hour is already doing 21 movements and is set to operate fully in full capacity by 2028, 4 years from now. Time is definitely running out for the overhaul, modernization, and expansion of the JKIA. I'm also aware that Kenya has, for possible a longer period, been in great need of infrastructure to receive and distribute electricity being generated from new local investments in green energy and also from new investments in power stations in neighboring countries. I knew this when I was even Minister for Energy. The country has a $500 billion financing gap for the 20-year transmission master plan that is estimated at $5.3 billion. In the meantime, with inadequate transmission capacity, insufficient evacuation capacity, system reliability, technical losses due to overloading of existing lines, and limited transmission coverage in remote areas. Having agreed that PPP is the way to go in light of the financial challenges we are currently undergoing, I wish to make the following observations. 1. The country needs to protect the framework of PPPs and the country needs to protect the framework of PPPs and the investors that show interest in putting money into our public services and utilities. Otherwise, no investor will set foot here. 2. In the interest of protecting the principle and framework of PPPs and potential investors, we have a responsibility to ensure our processes are transparent, cost-effective, and accord equal opportunity to all would-be investors in line with the PPP Act. We all have misgivings about how the current proposed PPPs concerning the AKA and power distribution have been processed, which has resulted in a raging debate over the involvement of the Indian firm in the airport and energy sector projects. Unfortunately, these misgivings have also resulted in a lot of misinformation regarding the investors who have made the PPP's proposals. I have had a chance to interact with the PPP proposals in question. It is my duty to state what I know about them. When I was the Prime Minister of Kenya, I was introduced to the company and its activities by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while he was then the Chief Minister of the state of Gujarat. Indeed, Prime Minister Modi organized for a Kenya government mission to visit Gujarat, and I had the opportunity to visit this company's infrastructure projects in that state that included a port, a power plant, a railway line, and an airstrip developed out of what was a swamp donated by the government of India. I'm talking about Adani group of companies. I also visited the city of Mumbai to see the electricity projects set up by the company, where it serves over 13 million consumer meters in metropolitan Mumbai and the industrial hub of Mundra Special Economic Zone. Adani Energy Solution Limited has a cumulative transmission network of 21,783 circuit kilometers of power transmission lines and 61,687 megavolts ampere transmission capacity. The company owns more than energy infrastructure than Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania combined. In the same city of Mumbai, I visited the international airport that had been overhauled and upgraded by the company and turned from a collapsing, degenerate airport to a first-class facility. Those who have been to Bombay Airport will confirm what I'm saying here. After the Kenya government delegation came back, the company expressed interest in investing in Kenya. The first expression of interest was far back as 2010. The government was, however, unable to pursue the matter because Kenya did not have a legal framework for engaging in PPP models of financing of public infrastructure. We looked toward India to understand how it was carrying out its projects. Indeed, the PPP law we have today is a variation of the PPP laws of the Gujarat state that Prime Minister gave us in hard copy. Unfortunately, we adulterated what we borrowed from India and then ended up with a law that is not fulfilling the needs of the country or the expectations of the people. The law is also not facilitative to interested investors, especially knowing that all our neighbors are in competition with us to attract foreign partners in public infrastructure. We must change the way we address our planned PPPs if we are to protect the current positioning of Kenya as the most profitable and reliable destination for PPP programs, and at the same time ensure that the interests of the people of Kenya are protected. To secure and safeguard our national interests in PPP models of development, we must A, choose the appropriate PPP model that works best for the people of Kenya. PPP models do not have to fall into templates, and we should design our models to cater for the specific realities about our projects, our contributions, and our expectations. B, ensure our models provide for the distribution of the PPP burden fairly between the people of Kenya and the investors. Kenyans cannot be made to bear all risks in the PPP projects. Kenyans can guarantee break-even returns, but never commercial profit. C, we must establish reducible minimum terms in our PPEs, including the recognition of the jurisdiction of Kenyan courts, recognition of the application of the laws of Kenya, recognition of the terms and conditions of labor in Kenya, recognition of environmental protection. D, we must ensure that there is a viable publicly financed alternatives for the general public for every PPP project that requires any form of premium payment for use. We must ensure that the discharge by investors of their responsibilities under PPP is secured by performance bonds guaranteed by credible banking institutions. But as we do the above, we must remember that PPP proposers are businessmen and participate in these projects to make profits. And we must also remember that we are not the only investment destination in the world, and that if we have punitive terms, investors will simply go to the next country. Given the current financial status of the country, PPP is the only way out of cash incentive projects for these projects. If we plant doubts in our capacity to handle the PPPs, we must be prepared for a prolonged period of development drought and risk being overtaken by our neighbors. The ongoing energy and airport projects, therefore, present a critical test that could make, I want to repeat that. The ongoing energy and airport projects therefore present a critical test that could make or break our ability to compete in the field of infrastructure development for a considerable period. I urge all agencies concerned to address all the concerns raised by Kenyans on these projects and ensure that we do not spook foreign capital away from the Kenyan economy. End of statement.
The statement is about PPP, and